One of my observations of this industry is that when people are starting a BI project, analytic project, there's this huge tendency to want to measure absolutely everything. And whilst that's all well and good, you've got to understand that there's this massive cost implication for doing that. It's the time it takes to set these up, the time to get that into the hands of business. And then more importantly, the ongoing maintenance of maintaining all of these extraneous measures for the life of the project for however long that lasts. And so on that basis, you've really got to think about the things that you don't want to measure. The first one is just don't measure things that are really difficult to measure, but easy to observe. And a good example of that is, why do people leave a company? You could try and build mechanisms to measure that, but it's so much easier just to simply ask them the question on an exit interview and get the answers that way. The second one is really highly complex metrics with unclear actions. And a good example of that would be trying to model a sales pipeline. What do my future sales look like based upon what's happening today? A much easier proxy for that is simply to go and say, how much have I put into my pipeline this month versus the month before and the month before that? My sales cycles will take care of the rest. Very, very simple, less complexity, easy to talk about. And the last one, and this happens oh so often, is measuring things that the organisation has absolutely no will or priority to tackle. And a good example of that, again, when I was working way back in the past, I ran employee surveys, and we used to ask our employees about whether they're happy with their remuneration or not. Now, this was a unionised environment where the pay structure was completely locked down, never going to change, and yet we asked people and we set an expectation that would never be addressed. So those are the three things that I'd never measure.